We had a variety of criminals in this jail. And energy like that doesn't just leave because you've dragged the bodies out.
There could have been thousands and thousands of entities trying to reach out to us, but we always say there's a reason for us being in the space.
People in the tour group were taking pictures.
Right.
And the picture, they saw a person standing.
He had like a full-on breakdown.
Just hopeless.
It was one of the hardest things I've ever watched with Chip. It had no like real shape to it. It just kind of went like this. I saw like something dark kind of go across the floor right in front of me. Who just whispered?
Somebody's there that wants to interact with us. We're looking for somebody who didn't do it, who's innocent.
I'm not a murderer. You hear a voice coming from where someone's mouth would be if someone were standing there. Leave. He says leave.
Ooh. I'm Adam Berry.
And I'm Amy Bruni.
And this is Kindred Spirits Inside the Investigation. So this is the old St. Johns County Jail in St. Augustine, Florida.
Things were not always run on the up and up in this place.
All the bad things that happened can really infuse a building.
We had been to St. Augustine before, but like the jail specifically is a place, A, that was new for us investigation-wise, because we hadn't done a jail yet, and B, the magnitude of the haunting was a little overwhelming.
People were virtually tortured here. They were treated worse than animals in there. But the other thing to think about is that back then it was like, oh, you're late on your $2 tax bill? Well, guess what? You're going to jail. And people would just literally rot in there. It was really awful.
We had a variety of criminals in this jail. And energy like that doesn't just leave because you've dragged the bodies out.
Stephen has been working there for a really, really long time. He loves the history and being as truthful as possible in about what this space was.
I've had a number of storytellers walk off of the job in the middle of a shift.
The activity was ramping up and it was so intense that he didn't feel like he had control of the space and a place that he loved to be in and loved to work in.
I've seen a figure affectionately known as the Crawler.
It's this thing that literally snakes across the floor. He says it's the most intense thing that's in the space. Looks inhuman, looks creepy, looks really horror movie style.
There was been a few times when I was giving tours inside maximum security. People in the tour group were taking pictures.
Right.
And the picture, they saw a person standing.
One of the employees there, Emmanuel, he was very helpful to us. He'd had a lot of experiences there over the years. A lot of them were very physical, but he also looked at them like they were more his buddies, even though they did reach out to him that way. He was never uncomfortable with them.
People become overwhelmed with things in this building that they can't see, they can't grasp, they can't understand, and it's terrifying.
There could have been thousands and thousands of entities trying to reach out to us, but we always say there's a reason for us being in the space. So I think us pinpointing who needed our help this time, I think that was the biggest challenge for us.
Whoever's here who's non-living, no one's passing any judgment on you or what you did or how you ended up here. And even if you worked here, we never judge a spirit based on where they're haunting. So, you know, if we go into a jail, we're not going to assume that whoever we're talking to did something terrible.
What's that?
I'm not a murderer.
Getting a solid EVP night one is rare, but amazing, because it tells us that somebody's there that wants to interact with us. And specifically in this case, it almost gave us a person we're looking for. We're looking for somebody who didn't do it, who's innocent. Is there anyone around that we can talk about?
I feel like I'm walking the Green Mile, you guys.
When we brought Chip in this case, we decided to blindfold him. We were thinking, okay, if we bring him in and he has no idea where he is, it will be really interesting to see what he draws on. All right.
Just have a seat here for a second.
It's horrible.
He had like a full-on breakdown. Probably what was one of the hardest things I've ever watched with Chip. And tears, he was crying.
Yeah.
Just hopeless.
Again, Chip Coffee, being Chip Coffee, says the craziest things.
A name that comes into my head is James.
James Kirby was sentenced to death for murder along with Robert Lee. They were hung on the gallows. James said multiple times that Robert Lee was innocent and they hung him anyway.
At this point, I had not told anyone about the research. She didn't know about it. And for Chip to pick up on that, we knew we had to go down that path and figure out if it indeed was James Kirby or not.
I don't want to say what I just saw on the floor. We were sitting upstairs and I saw like something dark kind of go across the floor right in front of me. It had no like real shape to it. It just kind of went like this.
Sometimes we
what you're gonna
act to
say.
ghosts like we're ordering a sandwich. We're like, oh, look, there's a ghost there. We don't like run around crazy because then you totally disrupt the energy that's in the space. And if you are freaking out about that activity, you're gonna miss whatever's gonna happen next.
So that's twice, though, things have gone off at the mention of Emmanuel. The spirits that are there, you know, they're very aware of us, but they're not sure of us. And so we needed Emmanuel to go in and make them comfortable, which I really do feel that he did.
I want to introduce you to my friends. They're here to tell your story.
He's an actor, so he would
Right.
go in, he'd play a part of a prisoner, dressed, like we saw him one day, dressed in like the black and white, like stripes, and so they knew him as that character. So he played that character too for a bit, so that he was acting in a way that they were.
So smart, though.
I know, we didn't even think of that. He thought of that on his own.
It's exactly what he needed to do for us to get activity.
Yeah. We're genuinely here just to talk to you and get to know you.
We're thinking, what do you want when you're in prison? Like, what do these guys want? And we did bourbon, cigars, and women. Bringing them an offering shows that we mean well.
I was not viewing it as me being a trigger object.
Oh, I
See,
saw
I
the
was
whole
viewing it
time.
as I was less threatening. I did not know that I was a trigger object in the moment. Who just whispered?
I heard that though.
Who just whispered?
It was a disembodied voice.
I hate disembodied voices. They feel so unnatural to me, like because you hear a voice coming from where someone's mouth would be if someone were standing there. And it's always like uncomfortably close to your ear. It's almost like they know what they're doing. They're trying to freak you out. Anyways, it was not my favorite. Do you know who Robert Lee is? Do you want everyone to know that you were wronged?
We knew we were on the right track. We were hitting all the right cues and the right buttons. It just sort of was culminating to like, we just need your name.
Lee. He says Lee.
Ooh. It confirms what we were initially thinking. It confirms the history, the research, and the work that we were doing. Lee is there, and he is the one talking to us.
This particular entity that was reaching out to us, we feel like was Robert Lee.
Robert Lee wanted his story told when he was alive.
I think the reveal was actually emotional for Stephen. He got tears in his eyes a few times as we were going through it, and that just showed how important it was to him that the stories we were telling were accurate.
Thank you for learning what you learned and then sharing that with me.
They are the right people to continue to tell these stories and to continue to interact with the spirits that are in that space.
Just assume that every ghost you talk to is someone and needs your help. The more places like that jail that open their doors to us, you know, the more good we can continue doing.
Right. Thanks for watching. And for more Kindred Spirits content, head to Travel Channel Go.